Good morning, everybody. Rowdy bunch this morning. That's good. A lot of spirit. Well, we're delighted to have you. Thanks for coming out this morning to the CEO Breakfast and Strategy Series. I'm Tom Kunkel, the president of St. Norbert, and along with our sponsors, we are delighted that you could again join us. For 19 years now, the CEO Series has been providing area executives with the opportunity to hear from some of our top area CEOs, as we will this morning. This resource is being brought to you through the generosity of our presenting sponsor, WPS Health Insurance Arise Health Plan, and our title sponsors, Whipley, Insight Publications, Johnson Bank, Johnson Insurance, and the sponsor of this session, Davis Keelthau, Attorneys at Law, and our good friend Bob Burns, proud graduate of St. Norbert and member of President's Advisory Council. Bob, thank you and your colleagues for sponsoring. Please take the folders at your place with you this morning and take a little time to review the information. We'd really appreciate it. This morning we find ourselves without benefit of clergy, so suck it up. You are in the hands of an amateur, but we do want to take a moment and remind ourselves of how fortunate we are. So let us put ourselves in God's presence. Heavenly Father, this is spring, the time of year which is about rebirth. It is also the season of Lent, which is the time of introspection. So let us sort of think about both together and make sure that we are considering whether we are constantly refreshing our perspectives and being open-minded and embracing of all. We are in a difficult time, a time of discord and disagreement, but let us take a moment and think about whether we are, as we are admonished by St. Francis, being instruments of your peace. Are we being part of the solution instead of part of the problem? Please send down your grace and wisdom to help us get along and try to build a better community and a better world in your name. For all the blessings that you send, we say thanks in your name. Amen. Enjoy your breakfast, and we'll be back with our guests in a little bit. Good morning again, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your breakfast. And we'll go ahead and we'll get to the main event. But I know our guests won't mind. I just want to take a second and say, welcome back, John Bergstrom. It is so good to see you here, my friend. And thank you for being here with us just a few days after you've gotten back home. It's a real pleasure for me to introduce this morning's speaker, Wilson Jones. Wilson was appointed President and Chief Executive Officer of Oshkosh Corporation in January of last year, but previously he had served as President and Chief Operating Officer. He joined Oshkosh Corporation in 2005 as the Vice President and General Manager of the Airports Products Business Unit. Subsequently, he was appointed to Executive Vice President and President of the Oshkosh Fire and Emergency Segment, where he helped accelerate global expansion and new product development. Wilson has been in specialty vehicle manufacturing for more than 25 years. He serves on the board of directors for Thor Industries, one of the world's largest manufacturers of recreational vehicles, and has served on the board of directors for the Fire Apparatus Manufacturers Association and the American Ambulance Association. He earned a bachelor's degree in business administration from the University of North Texas, and as you can tell from this morning's unusually large crowd, it's a testament to the importance of Oshkosh Corporation in the New North region, of course, but as well as a testament to its unique mission, the central role that it plays in the security and safety of our armed forces, and its unique corporate culture. So please join me in welcoming our speaker, Wilson Jones. Wilson?
Thank you for that nice meeting. Well, good morning. Good morning. Everybody here okay? I'm feel a little neglected just to start off with, because when Tim talked the other day, he had a priest at his table, and as he pointed out, I have the attorney, but it'll be okay. And you two guys in the back that have been watching me like a hawk, you can rest easy now. This is not a bomb. I was in the restroom trying to get all these wires that they hooked me up with here, and these two guys were looking at me like, what is he up to here? So they've been watching me the whole time. I think they're probably relieved now that I'm not going to do something bad today. You know, Tom recognized John, and I have to say it's good. Dad's home, and it's good to have you back, John. And you know, I know a lot of us have been kind of watching Tim for John while he's been gone, and that's a full-time job, John. but we've kept him going. I will tell you a story. We were sitting at church the other day, and a lot of you have been around hockey, and you know how those pads and stuff sweat and they smell? Well, I'm smelling something like that, and I turned to Tim and I said, man, somebody's deodorant's not working. And he elbows me back. Well, it's not me, because I'm not wearing any. That's our friend Tim. Well, I am excited to be here today, and it's an exciting time in our company. I mean, 100 years strong, and a big celebration going on this year. When you look, I'd love to just go through a presentation on our history. It's tremendous history, and we don't have time for that. It's funny how people manage me with time. Before I came up here, Tom was real clear. Now, Wilson, at 25 after, I'm going to do this to you. Everybody manages the Texas guy for time, because I talk slow sometimes. So I've got to stay on track today, but do check out our website. We've got a 100th website now. It's on the bottom of the slide here, and that'll show you some really neat stuff. It has been a story of people with tremendous purpose, with an unbelievable perseverance DNA that's really led to some great performance over the years. And that perseverance DNA is still alive and well in our company today, and you'll hear some of that in my presentation. I would like to invite you, July 15th, we're having an open house and a parade. About 70 vehicles in this parade. We have old number 1 Betsy, 1917, first truck we built. We got it running now, but she's a little tired, so you may see us pushing her in the parade, but we're going to have her in the parade, and it'll be a fun day. You know, the community has really supported us over the years, and we're going to have a nice open house, have a little truck rodeo on our test track, and just a great day to celebrate this accomplishment. So what I'd like to do today is just tell you a little bit about our journey on enabling a people-first culture. And I don't have time to go through tons of detail, plus we do compete with some of you for talent in this area, so I'm not going to give you all of our secret sauce today, but I will hit a few high points. And when we started this journey, we said there's really 3 understandings that we thought we should have good command of. And the first was around really a caring leadership team, a genuine caring leadership team. And quite honestly, we had to make a few changes when we started. That wasn't as alive and well in our company as it should have been. So as a leadership team, we decided what are the behaviors that we need to model? You know, because if it doesn't come from the top, people-first culture is never going to materialize. So the first behavior that we really locked in on was trust and respect. We had to rebuild the trust factor in our company. That's on its way, and I can tell you those behaviors are being modeled in a much better way today. The second behavior, after we established that, is really to be collaborate. And you know, we were more of an individual contribution model in the past. We were successful, but not as successful as I thought we could be. So we've changed that collaboration, that competitive word, to collaborate. And once we collaborate, then we can start gaining alignment. You know, when you're talking about a strategy, moving a company forward, people are watching the leadership team. And if they're not connected and aligned, people aren't buying in. They believe it's more of a flavor of the month thing. So we have solid leadership now, genuine caring leadership that's about trust and respect, that's about collaborating and gaining alignment. And the fourth, and probably most important, is about having fun. I see a lot of organizations today that it's very formal. There's a lot of rigidity, and you don't feel comfortable, sometimes a little scared. We don't want that in the walls of our company. We want people to have a fun place to come to work, and we're serious about it. One of the things we say a lot is always assume good intent. And I've got a letter from Grandma that really, I think, will be a good example of this assuming good intent. Dearest ones, the other day I went up to a local Christian bookstore and saw a "Honk If You Love Jesus" bumper sticker. I was feeling particularly sassy that day because I'd just come from a thrilling choir practice followed by a powerful prayer meeting. So I bought the sticker and put it on my bumper. I was stopped at a red light at a busy intersection, just lost in the thought about the Lord and how good He is. And I didn't notice that the light had changed. It's a good thing someone else loves Jesus, because if He hadn't honked, I'd never have noticed. I found that lots of people love Jesus. Why, while I was sitting there, the nice man behind started honking like crazy. And he leaned out his window and screamed, "For the love of God, go, go, go." What an exuberant cheerleader he was for the Lord. I even honked my horn a few times to share in the love. There must have been a man from Florida there, because I heard him yelling something about sunny beaches. I saw another man waving in a funny way, with only his middle finger stuck up in the air. When I asked my teenage grandson in the back seat what that meant, he said that it was the Hawaiian good luck sign. Well, I've never met anyone from Hawaii, so I leaned out the window and gave him the good luck sign back. My grandson burst out laughing. Why, even he was enjoying this religious experience. A couple people were so caught up in the joy of the moment that they got out of their cars and started walking towards me. I bet they wanted to pray or ask what church I attended, but that's when I noticed the light had changed. So I waved to all my sisters and brothers, smiled at them all, and drove through the intersection. But I noticed I was the only car that got through the intersection before the light changed again. And I felt kind of sad that I had to leave them after all the love we had shared. So I slowed the car down, leaned out the window, and gave them all the Hawaiian good luck sign one last time. Praise the Lord for such wonderful folks. How about a round of applause for Grandma? If my team over here looks like they're just about to freak out and uptight, we have to tell them what number 12 says is relax, because they're wondering, how's he going to transition back to his presentation right now? You know, humor is a connector. Do you all feel a little bit better after that story? I know it's kind of a corny story, but you feel a little bit better? You know, it disarms a lot of stress, and I think we need to laugh at ourselves more, enjoy what we do. You spend a lot of time at work. If you're not having fun, it makes it a lot longer time at work. So we really are promoting this in our company, and it really is driving to a more positive attitude. So we've established this genuine caring leadership. The second big understanding that we want to have command of is really, what is our why? You've seen this quote, I'm sure a lot of you had personal application about the two most important days of your life, the day you're born and the day you figure out why. And I think personal application is good, but it also applies to businesses. And I think we have an unfair advantage at Oshkosh Corporation in this area. I mean, we protect warfighters, we protect firefighters, we put people up in the air 185 feet and keep them safe to do heavy work. Our products help build cities and then keep those cities clean. So for us, it's pretty simple about making a difference in people's lives. And we want to do that with our team, with our customers, with our community, and with our shareholders. And what I'm proud to say today is, it's not just a slogan in our company, it's not just something that we understand, our people believe it, and it makes a difference in what we're doing. There's more inspiration in our company today because people really understand our why, our North Star. And I'll share some stats with you in a minute, but one reason millennials aren't staying in companies, about 60% of them don't feel like they're engaged and connected to the mission or the North Star of the company. So first two understandings, I'm pleased with where we are, genuine caring leadership. We still have our challenges there, but we work through those. And then really understanding our why, making a difference in people's lives. So the third is where I'm going to spend most of my 3 hours with you today on, and that's around, Tom's really freaking out now, is around this understanding the current state of our culture, but the current realities, we like to say, but more importantly, what does our team want our culture to be? Because that's where you want to go, not what you think it should be, where do they think it should go? And so our company is at a good spot right now. For the first time in my 13 years or so with the company, we have a positive long-term outlook in all 4 business segments. So we want to maximize that by building the best team we can. And so a lot of this falls into that best team. When we think about our team, I always enjoy these get-togethers where maybe someone hasn't watched us over the years and, oh yeah, you work at Truck. And yeah, okay, I work at truck. But if you take a step back today, we're a Fortune 500 global industrial, 15,000 team members, 28 locations around the world, working in 70 countries. But we're truck, and we're happy with that. Today I'm going to talk about a few of the things we're doing in Northeast Wisconsin, but our People First initiative is around the globe. We've got different initiatives all around the world. Again, they're a little different in Asia than they would be in South America and the US. So a few macro statistics that we looked at as we were building this, and 71% of employees are not engaged. Career development. If you, a lot of people focus on comp, ben, work environment, but career development really stands out, and it is underserved today in most companies. Here's the comment about millennials. 60% do not feel like they're strongly connected to the company's mission. And here's one that I don't think is indicative of Northeast Wisconsin, but this is out of Bob Chapman's book, Everybody Matters. And I know in Key Executive Council we went through this book, and if you haven't read it and you're serious about improving your culture, I would suggest that it's really a good read. But 7 out of 8 U.S. employees go home feeling that they work for an organization that doesn't listen to them or care about them. And again, I don't think this is indicative of Northeast Wisconsin, but what you have here is people coming in every day with their hands in their head, and they're leaving their heart in the car. And that heart makes such a big difference in your company. So not all negative. When you do have a high level of engagement in your company, and we can show you areas of our company where we see higher engagement, you see better results, both on the earnings growth and the operating income side. So that's the macro look, a quick look from a macro level. Then we went into the micro level, really what is in the walls of our company, the current state. And we used a couple of different mechanisms to get to a better understanding of what our team was looking for. And engagement surveys are really good. We do an annual engagement survey. We did focus groups. We do an avenue of global town halls where we're streaming live to 15,000 team members, and they can ask questions. We have a question and answer session. And then some town halls, all in really with the initiative of listening for understanding. What is it that our team is really saying that they want our culture to be? Our team came back with 3 things they wanted. They wanted to be engaged, developed, and connected. So I'll tell you a few things that we're doing in these three areas, really in making that step in improving our culture. On the engagement side, our team said that they wanted to have a safe environment, both physically safe and mentally safe. And unfortunately today, I think the elephant in the room is we do have a divide in our country today. Hopefully that's going to settle down, but what we didn't do is turn to them and say, okay, we want you to lower your workers' comp cost per hour by X%. We didn't do that. What we did is said, hey, how can we work together to make our environment the safest and best environment possible? So we developed this safety management system. It's 4 levels. I'm proud to say 6 of our companies have already achieved the top level, which is OSHA's VPP star status, the highest certification for safety that you can achieve. The way we achieved it is just how I said it. The team worked together and built in the right initiatives and program to keep our environment safe. And again, it's both physically and mentally safe. Now, a lot of you know me, I am about metrics, but there's times where it doesn't need to be about spreadsheets. It doesn't need to be about all the metric stuff, but the metric on this is we cut our costs per hour in half over a 3-year period. Cut it in half. The other thing on the engagement side is our team said that we have aging parents. Some of us are single parents. We need more flexibility in the workplace. So again, we didn't say, all right, everybody can have off 4 hours on Friday afternoon. What we said is, what works for your team? You know, customer service has to answer the phone every day. So maybe those team members alternate days. Finance doesn't have customer facing, maybe they do take Friday afternoons, but we let them, the teams, put that in place. And I know a lot of people say, well, gosh, aren't you worried they're going to take advantage of you? Well, if you're worried about that, then they probably will. But if you trust them and respect them and you empower them, we haven't had any, matter of fact, the time is redeemed. I mean, we've seen productivity increase in most of these areas. So don't be worried about that if you're debating it. I do have a team member here with us this morning that's agreed to let me play one of the captions that she shared with us where she benefited from this program. So take a look at this video.
I was in an extremely difficult situation, which made it impossible for me to work out of my office. Our flexible work philosophy, which is grounded in mutual trust, was invaluable to my family and me. I literally worked out of a library in a different city for over 3 months. So what the leadership team did for me meant the world.
So Linda Giordano is here with us. Thank you, Linda, for allowing me to share that with the group here today, and thanks for making a difference in our company. We appreciate all you do. How about a round of applause for Linda? I wish I had more time to talk about some of the exciting things that we're doing in engagement, but again, my team warned me that some of you might try to take some of our people if we tell you too much about this. But what I will say is the more engagement you're part of, the more recognition comes. And we're a humble company, and I'm not going to sit up here and go through all the different awards that we've been receiving, but one I will tell you about that I'm so proud of our team is World's Most Ethical designation by Ethisphere Institute. Second consecutive year for us. Only 124 companies around the world receive this award. I saw, you always have a hater or two that will hit at you on social media, and someone said, well, they just bought a big ad in a magazine and got this. I tell you, I will go toe-to-toe with those individuals because our teams work very hard. There's 5 big categories that you work through, and you have to be a best-in-class company to achieve this award. It's something that's really special to us, and special that you have a company in your backyard that's a top 20 defense contractor that's the only top 20 defense contractor that hasn't had an ethical violation. So we take that very serious at Oshkosh, and we can because, thank you. And we do take it serious, but as I said earlier, we have fun as we take it seriously. I'll move on to the develop piece, the second part of our developing our culture. And our survey said that team members want avenues to acquire new or advanced skills through on-the-job experiences, exposure to networks, and educational opportunities. So we're arranging our development for our team members around these 3 areas. On the area of experience, I think many of you are familiar with what we do around continuous improvement. This is a caption of the Oshkosh Excellence Awards, where team members, again, getting those experiences working across functions and segments, they work on continuous improvement events, which eliminates waste, reduces complexity, makes our company a better company. And they gain those experiences. They also work with team members. When they finish an event, they put it into this awards program. There's 5 different categories. They can win on a local level, a regional level, and then on the national level. And with each win, as they move up, they receive money from our foundation, and they turn and donate that money back into the community charity of their choice. So it's a win for our people, it's a win for our company, and it's a win for the community. Really a great event, and something that we continue to grow as more and more of our people become involved in continuous improvement. On the exposure side, we've been developing a lot of employee resource groups, or we're trying to develop even more, but one that's really going gangbusters here is the Oshkosh Women's Network. And this is providing our team opportunities for networking and mentoring inside our company and outside our company. And many of you know Kathy Seifert. We've had a lot of nice speakers to come in and talk to our Oshkosh Women's Network. On the education side, again, as the macro stat told us, more people want career development within a company, and they're not getting it in a lot of cases. So on the education side, we developed what's called the U, Your Oshkosh University. It's online courses, it's internal courses that are taught within our company, manager mechanics, crucial conversations, a lot of things that our team members want and need in their development. In 2016, we doubled our online course offerings, and I'm really happy to say 75% of our salaried team members took at least one online class in this past year. So we'll continue to grow the education side. The other thing we're doing on the education piece, I know a lot of you do this, is tuition reimbursement for continuing education. We have a story here of one of our team members over in Minnesota that we'll share with you.
Carrie, you need to get your MBA. You need to. And when I did reach out to both Brad and Wilson, they were both excited that I was working on pursuing my development, and that's my personal development that nobody can take away from me. And they were very encouraging. And Brad has asked me about it multiple times. It's just amazing to have that kind of support from the leadership team.
If you listen to the last comment Carrie made, she said Brad checked in on her a few times. Again, I'll get on my soapbox about genuine, caring leadership carries the day. Brad Nelson's the segment president. Carrie doesn't report to Brad, but our leadership knows who's in different development opportunities, and there's accountability. They check in, and more importantly, Brad spoke to her MBA class. So that's that caring leadership I'm talking about. Last few comments on develop. We want our team members to be successful in life. So we have wellness programs, classes that encourages a healthy lifestyle by offering incentives for health screenings, tips on nutrition, as well as offering programs for our team to stay physically active. We also bring Fidelity in, and they work with our team members on financial planning. On the connect issue, survey said that we want to connect with each other, with our customers, and with the community. Now, there's lots of connection opportunities today, but what I found neat about our survey is they wanted real human connections. I know there's Twitter and Instagram, and I'm going to date myself in a second, but it really was neat for us to see real human connections. And if you think about what we do and the emotional connection that we can have, it fits right well with what we're doing. So here's a great example of a community event. Everyone remembers the tragic day of 9/11. And so Pierce, our fire apparatus company here in Appleton, does the stair climb every year at Lambeau Field. Over the last 10 years, about $500,000 that they've raised to put back into the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, which takes care of those families of the fallen firefighters. Great event. I would say that it's something that's continuing to grow for us. It'll be coming up in September. We have to wait for the Packers to put out their September schedule, but the date will be around 9/11, and we'll be publishing that date shortly. But we do have some commentary here from one of our team members, Sam, at Pierce, about the event.
It gives the employees a chance, even if they're not in a fire department, an opportunity to do something for the firefighters that they're building these apparatus for. It gives them a connection to them.
It's tough when people talk about the emotional connection. It's hard to visualize it with someone just saying it. So I'll just invite you. Come on up there, and I think you'll see it is an incredible experience of how our team with the firefighters and the community really connect on a day where we're supporting those who run into the burning buildings when we all run out. Another emotional event for us was getting the team together and packaging meals. We brought bulk food in to one of our plants and had roughly 300 team members, families, children there, packaged over 45,000 meals in about an hour and a half. It was a great event, made a difference in some people's lives that day in putting those meals into our local food pantries. But what was interesting is seeing some of our adults and some of our children that had never given back, to see that how they lit up on the opportunity to help those in need in our community. The metric on this is we had 300 people last year. We're doing this again in April. We already have 700 people signed up. So I think that's a positive metric there. You know, we do encourage our team members to volunteer, and I'm going to put a few up here on the board. There's a lot of you that do a lot better job in the community than we do. We're working to be better at that. Our foundation is focused on two things: poverty reduction and children. We're big into Point Poverty Outcome Improvement Network teams. We think that's important to help our friends in the community learn continuous improvement. It doesn't just work in business, it works in everything. And we've had some good improvement there. We have 20 team members today, embracing that with local charity team members. We have about 12 that raise their hands that want to get involved. So if any of you are wanting to do continuous improvement from the community side, get with us. We've got people ready to go. I will say this, just as a teaser, we're very passionate about trying to get more people involved in our community. Northeast Wisconsin is a special place, and a lot of you are from here. I've lived a few other places, and I've never seen a place like this. I mean, it's a special place, and we don't need to take it for granted. But if you look today, we've got about 10% of the population carrying 90% of the care, and that's not healthy. So you'll be seeing us involved in a few events with some other local people that I think will add up for you when we start making some announcements. But our goal is not only to help those in need, but it's to get more people involved. People feel better when they get involved. It's taking that first step that we need to help them do. And it doesn't have to be about money. It can be about time. It can be about expertise. So you'll hear us being pretty passionate in the community about getting more people involved. So back to our program here. Engage, develop, and connect. That's really the three areas that we're focused on within our company. I think, if I was to grade where we are today, we're in the early innings, but we're farther ahead than I thought we'd be at this time, but a long way to go. The few things I would ask you to think about is I know when I go hear speakers, I always want to say, well, what can I take away from that? And hopefully some of this might be a thought starter for you that you want to add to your organization. But I think it's really important, if we're serious about having a great culture, starts with leadership. Do we have a leadership team that's committed to that? And I check off on that box every week, and sometimes we have to course correct a little bit. The other thing is, what is our mission? Why are we doing what we're doing? And do our team members not only understand it, but do they believe it? And then, if engage, develop, and connect helps you, that's really what's helping us move forward in our quest to have a better culture, a culture that is a destination workplace where people want to come and work every day and be a part of a team and have fun and be inspired to do great things, make a difference in people's lives. We talk a lot, but I think this video that you're going to see now really gives you a great example of what we're about and why our people can be so emotional about making a difference in people's lives.
My name is Amy Bermudez, and I currently live in El Paso, Texas, and I'm a teacher. I teach 7th grade English.
Andrew Bailey. I'm a government contractor, prior Marine, and I live in Alexandria, Virginia.
My name is April Herlevy. I'm from Lake Nebagamon, Wisconsin, and right now I'm a PhD student working on my dissertation.
My name is Dan Robinson. I live in Harbor Springs, Michigan, and currently I am working with military entities throughout the country as far as with Gold Star and Blue Star families.
Well, about this time last year, my husband went out on a mission, so I think he ended up calling me. And the first thing he said was, "Everybody's okay." And he was in the lead vehicle, and their vehicle hit an IED, and it went airborne and then crashed kind of face down. There wasn't a scratch on them. They were perfectly safe. But then to know, like, the next day he's got to get back out there and do it all over again.
Kind of as the war in Afghanistan was winding down, one night we went into a village, and then when we were leaving, it was the only route out. We tried to take it slow, but it's 2:30 in the morning, and unfortunately we hit the IED. So 4 of the 5 of us kind of got knocked out unconscious and came to, and the Marines were pulling us out. But I mean, it was a giant IED, so I mean, any other vehicle, it definitely would not be here. So.
When he was in Iraq, and a lot of our other friends, we've had a lot of friends that have been in combat, and those are definitely a big improvement on the trucks that existed beforehand, that we have friends that were in some of those other vehicles that were not as capable as the trucks they have now.
My relationship to the military is that I have 3 sons that are actively serving, while my oldest has been killed, which puts me in a Gold Star status. I still have 2 boys that are deployed in the Middle East. My middle son was basically in a deployment in the Middle East, and we get an email from my daughter-in-law that says he's been medevaced out. We think he's okay. And 2 days later, I get a message from him on email, very casually, that says, "Hey, I'm back to work. I'm good to go." So for me, that was very devastating, because it took me back to the time when my oldest was killed, and there was a real fear, a real anxiety. So when I met him, he told me about what had happened, and he showed me a clip of it. And there was one of the vehicles was blown up. And he said, "Dad, that was me." And I said, "Son, I don't want to see this." So as I walked out and I turned around, rather than saying I'm sorry, or "Dad, I'm okay," or "I love you," he said, "Oshkosh saved my life." I immediately called Oshkosh and I said, "I want to tell you thank you for what you've done for my family and for the rest of these families."
What it's worth, I want to say that I'm thankful that the people here, that you guys are so passionate. Each person that I met today, I could just see like their individual job, that they really love it and care about it, and that passion really translates, because that's what kept my husband safe. That if it wouldn't have been a quality vehicle, if he wouldn't have been in the vehicle, it wouldn't be the same story. Because when it happened, he had months more to go, so knowing that I could kind of put my faith in that he, if something were to happen again, he would be okay.
No, I know I'm appreciative of the people here in Oshkosh that are working hard for this, because I think people sometimes forget that our military is still out there even now, even though some of the wars have been winding down. We've got a lot of Marines and soldiers and military members out there still working hard who need this stuff, so we definitely appreciate that.
I can tell you have so much vested, and it's really comforting to know that there's a company like yours that really watches out for these guys. I mean, it's like a family, and we're really appreciative. And I thank you all so much for saving my son's life.
Because I'm not a Gold Star father again. That's a story that's pretty profound. My grandson would not have been here if it had not been for Oshkosh. Because shortly after this all happened, he was conceived and now he's born. And I never thought about calling him Oshkosh. We could have done that. No, I'm not sure that would go.
My name is Richard Raines, and I'm calling from Jackson, Georgia. I just wanted to call and just send my deepest gratitude to you and your company for building that MATV. My son was in a firefight in the Helmand province in Afghanistan on Monday, and that vehicle saved my son's life. And I just wanted to call and thank you all.
Well, thank you. And I listened to that voicemail probably over 1,000 times, and every time I hear it, it still gets me. And it's one thing we treasure at Oshkosh. We get a lot of cards, letters, emails, and voicemails like that. There's a few we share, but it keeps us in check that we are doing some really important stuff and making a difference in people's lives. So, time for some questions, Tom? Okay.
Questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you trying to attract a different employee today than you did, say, 20 years ago?
I wouldn't say a different employee today. We're trying to attract more employees today. The access to labor is very tight in this area, and what's kind of happening now is it's more competitive around trades. We don't have the skilled pool that we used to have. A lot of kids are coming out of high school and they're being told they got to go to college, go to college, and that's good. But some students might be better off in technical school or learning a trade, and so there's a void in the U.S. right now in that labor pool. So we're doing a lot of things to try to control our destiny by building our own training centers within our companies where we can take someone who's learning assembly and maybe teach them to weld or become an electrician. So the dynamic has changed that 20 years ago you had a lot of people interested in trades and trained in that way, very good with their hands, and that's just not the case today. We don't see as many trade classes in high schools like we used to. Wow. Yes, sir.
With all the locations you have globally, how do you maintain that same culture and connection? What's the key to doing that when you have just so many diverse locations?
Yeah, it's leadership, it's communication. We do a lot of messaging. The global town halls touches all those areas. It's something that, I'll be honest, we're clumsy in certain areas. We're still trying to get it. There's still some leadership in remote areas that probably don't have that great understanding and belief that we need them to have, but we certainly have initiatives. If you look at our strategy, we do a 3-horizon map, and the first initiative in all of our functions and in all of our segments is enable a people-first culture. So it's being worked on. It's just some areas it's harder to advance, and some cultures just are autocratic. They're tough to get to become more open and available to work in this kind of atmosphere. Yes.
Wilson, one of the unique things about your company is, you're so connected to the defense sector. So unlike many other corporations, I mean, you have to manage environments where what's going on in the world, what's going on in Washington, what's going on with budgets, what's going on with politics, which, most of which is outside your control. As the leader of an organization like that, how do you try and even out those inevitable spikes?
Well, you pray a lot, Tom. I know you did that at St. Norbert. I think the key is to have a good team. I'm sure you're the same way. You can't do it all. You can't know everything. But if you enable a team, empower a team, you can have the right skills and talents. Where when we meet as a leadership team, we talk about, here's 11 business leaders around this table. It's not the procurement leader, it's not the finance leader, it's not the president of defense, it's business leaders, and we're working on the business. So we try to stay strategic about 30% of our time in our business. 30% of the time is running the current portfolio, and the other 30% for me is what I call selling the company. And we're not selling the company, but we're out doing things like this, a lot of time with shareholders, investors. So it's balancing time and then making sure that you do have people focused on, okay, what's Congress doing in the Arms Committee, Senate Arms Committee. You just got to make sure you have all those bases covered. And again, we have great people that cover those well. I should just, off of what Tom's saying there, we talk a lot about defense, and I know we're in your backyard here, but you may not know, defense is not our biggest segment. Our biggest segment is called access, JLG, the cream and orange lifts you see under bridges, scissor lifts, rough terrain forklifts, telehandlers. They're our global company. They're 24/7. They have plants in Asia, Europe, Brazil, Australia, Mexico, 4 in the U.S. So they're a little around $3 billion in revenue. That's our biggest segment. And then defense is the second. And then fire and emergency, which is based here in Appleton, is our third largest segment. Our fourth segment is based over in Dodge Center, Minnesota. It's called McNeilus, or what we call our commercial segment, refuse collection vehicles and mainly concrete mixers.
One or two more, maybe?
Bruce.
As you look in your crystal ball, 3 to 5 years out, what do you see different than today? What do you see?
Well, there's definitely a shift today from mechanical to digital. So I think if companies aren't moving down that digital highway, not the mechanical cul-de-sac, you got to get, and I think that's a big trend. I think access to labor is going to continue to be a challenge. I think that's going to be there. I think, not forecasting the markets, but if markets hold, just from our perspective, we believe construction has some upside down the road if there's some infrastructure. If you look at our fleet today with the Department of Defense, it's not in great shape, so there's opportunities there for us to replace that old fleet. I think one of the exciting things for us is Asia. If you go to Asia today and you look at all the infrastructure build, you'll see buildings wrapped with bamboo scaffolding. It's not safe. It's very inefficient to put up and take down. So that's where we're having a good adoption of our access equipment. JLG has got a plant in China and that serves that area, and we're seeing that market double year over year as we can make a productivity case for the machine. Now a safety case, they put in some safety regulations with governance that makes our machine much better than that bamboo scaffolding. And our team would tell you they've deployed a fleet of panda bears too to take care of that bamboo, but they're a little slow. But as I said, I think in one of my opening comments, this is the first time for us in a long time that we have a positive long-term outlook in all 4 of our business segments. So we're excited because of our business, especially some of the international work we're doing in supporting our allies on the defense side. We're going to generate a lot of free cash over the next couple of years. If you remember, we bought 16 companies over a 10-year period, 1996 to 2006. So we were an acquirer at the time, back then, and I think you'll probably see us looking around and seeing if there's opportunities there too with capital allocation to use our cash well.
One more.
Okay. Yes, Tom.
Wilson, in your quest to develop talent and your quest to acquire more talent, what role does the concept of diversity and inclusion play?
Big role, and that was loud and clear in our survey. Our team, we talk a lot about we don't want to count people, we want to make people count. And that's diversity and inclusion. So we have a leader in that area for us. we're learning a lot as we go. It's not an easy area to recruit diversity into, but we do have some initiatives. One of the initiatives that we're doing is really focusing on diverse interns, with the hope that they'll come in and connect with our mission, with our why, and then stay with us. We've had some success there. We need more, but our people say we want to learn from other people that have different experiences, and we want to provide that, but you know it better than me. It's tough to attract diversity into our area.
Please join me in thanking you. Wilson, thank you so much. Outstanding presentation, and a special thank you on behalf of, I'd say, in particular, all of us that have family, friends in the service, in fire and police services, and working anywhere around the world. We're just really, really appreciative of the care and the attention and the pride that your folks bring to their work. So thanks for helping us. Thanks for being here today. If you want a DVD of today's presentation, please see Amy Sorensen. She's in the back, and we will get you taken care of. I also want to say real quickly, Dr. Kevin Quinn, the Dean of our Schneider School of Business, is here. We're just so proud at St. Norbert to be so integrated into the business community. Our MBA program is going very, very well. Kevin would be happy to talk to any of you about that if you're interested. And we thank all of you, your companies who are supporting, as Wilson was saying, supporting people, key executives, for instance, with continuing education. Dr. Tom Wilsius is here, the head of our Center for Exceptional Leadership. Tom, you got a quick update for folks? That's going very well, I think.
Things are going very well. We just graduated our second group of what we call emerging leaders coming through the program. On Monday, we start our first group of senior executives going through the program. We run different cohorts that way, and so we're off to a very good start. And a lot of the principles that were engaged in the design process were reflected today in Wilson's presentation and a couple of weeks ago in Tim's presentation. We're very, very proud to have this going, and we look forward to your use of this because the center really belongs to all of us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom.
Great brochures this time, so I should go out and
all right.
grab one.
Thank you. And finally, I hope that you will join us on April 11th. That's back in De Pere. I think that's our last one of the season. Your speaker is going to be me. The people that we really wanted, we couldn't get. So in all seriousness, I'm going to be talking on a topic that is close to our heart, and we know is close to a lot of your hearts as well, and that is the topic of my talk is going to be the cost of college, separating fact from fiction. So I think you'll find it interesting. I hope so. And that will be on April 11th back at the Hendrickson Dining Room. Thank you again for coming. This was a great day. Wilson, thank you again. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Take care.